Gather up your projects, settle in your favorite spot. It's time to stitch with Sarah at her stitchy Camelot. Let's celebrate each other, this community we've got. It's time to get down to Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, where we will discuss and celebrate all things cross-stitch. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and join me
at Sarah's stitchy spot.
Hi, it's Sarah. It's FlossTube number 2. How exciting, I came back. I am completely overwhelmed by the response from this community. Everyone has been so gracious, so encouraging. I have reached 2,000 subscribers. I'm gobsmacked. So we are going to start this video off the way I should have started the last video off. First and foremost, with a huge thank you to my husband for writing and performing and playing the intro song. That seemed to be a great hit as well. I feel very fortunate that I have such an incredibly talented husband, and I want to make sure that I have said my proper thank yous as I should have at the beginning of my first video. Secondly, I want to give a huge thank you to Brenda and Laura. I know they were the driving force for most of you to come and give me a chance and see what you thought of my FlossTube and my stitching. They are generous beyond words, and I don't have words, and as Brenda knows, if I talk too much longer, I will probably be blubbering and in tears. So I will try to stop there, and you all know the kind of people both of them are, and we are very fortunate to have them in our community. Last time I made a agenda. I had everything written out, and lordy did I stick to it. I completely forgot so many things that I wanted to say. So I do want to start with just a couple of more things about myself and my stitching. And then as time goes on and we do more videos, I will share more. But I am an in-hand stitcher. I tend to stitch on linen, occasionally on an even weave, and I usually stitch 1/2, even on 32 count. It is fine. Once I discovered that you could actually stitch with one thread, I ran with that and never looked back, and I love it. The coverage for me seems to be fine, and so in-hand stitching, usually one thread over 2. I branched out, as we talked about last time, into many other designers with the start of the pandemic and getting introduced to FlossTube and learning about all these incredible designers that I knew nothing about. And that's not to say that the designers who went before them weren't amazing. But my horizons have been widened, shall we say. So I did want to start today with a couple of my previous finishes, specifically the one behind me, which is the Sleeping Beauty by Mirabilia. This was a time when I was stitching. I have no idea what I stitched it on. I do know I used the called for DMC. It is beaded, and I will insert a picture here that I took so that you can see it a little closer. A lot of you graciously asked about it, and I do know that I overlooked talking about it with the last video. My next previous finish is, again, a piece, I don't even know the name of it. I stitched it so long ago, and there is going to be quite the glare. I would assume this has something to do with Santa's list. I did personalize it a little. As you can see, the names on the list, I added the names of my grandchildren and Stan, and anywhere I could fit someone in that was a part of our family. But I love this piece, and I actually leave it out all year. So that's what I'm going to call Santa's Christmas list. Okay. Next are two pieces that, again, are a team project between my husband and I. The first one is Dreaming Frida, and this is stitched on a 32 count vintage country mocha with the called for DMC. This is the first piece that I ever pinned. I did use Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch and Kitten Stitcher. I watched several videos before I started that, and I will certainly link them below. The team effort was that Stan made the frames for me. He's an incredible woodworker as well as being a very talented musician. And I'm hoping as time goes on that I will push myself further to do more pinning and maybe lacing as well, and getting more of my pieces framed, because as we all know, framing is quite expensive. But anyway, this is by Barbara Anna. Absolutely love it. The second piece was a companion piece to that, and this was Dreaming Girl. I think this one actually came out first. Again, Stan made the frame. There is no glass. It is pinned. I used the called for DMC, and the fabric is a 32 count Lugana by Bestitch Me in the color April Showers. So those are the previous finishes that I wanted to share with you today, and I will have many more to share as time goes by. I want to take this minute before we dive into the heavy part of the stitching to give a couple of shout outs. When I started actively making this decision to do a floss tube, I found two videos in our community. One is Cocohamas, and it's titled Cocohamas Tutorial, How to Start and Record a Floss Tube. It is excellent, and I encourage anyone who's thinking about making their own first floss tube to give that a look. I will link it below. The second video that I watched that was equally as good was Cynthia Brew, Stitching in the Light, and it was called Start and Grow a Floss Tube Channel. Both of them had a lot of wonderful tips, and I think you'll enjoy those if this is something that you're thinking about pursuing. I wanted to give a shout out to a floss tube that I watched this week. It's Haley at Peregrine, let me get that right. The Peregrine, that's a hard word to say, Peregrine Stitcher. Her name is Haley. It was almost eerie. She left a comment after my first floss tube saying that we might possibly be twins. Our projects are very much aligned, things that we enjoy stitching on. She is a under 1,000 sub club, and I think that we could certainly boost her over that. I enjoyed her video very much. So let's jump in. Now for my finishes. I had two finishes this week, or since I filmed last. And the first one is, I did finish the Tudor Bee. There is the chart. by Blue Flower, the Blue Flower, and this is my finish. I planned, I stitched this on 36 count Cola by XG Design with a Vicki Clayton conversion using her silks. This is the piece that I plan to make into a pillow and give to my granddaughter to celebrate her internship when she graduated from college, where she worked on a bee farm. My second finish is, this is a big one. You saw it almost finished last week, but I have finished the 2020 pandemic sampler. I'm going to get back a little bit to see if you can take that all in. I am over the moon about this and really want to get it framed. For this, I did use the silk pack from Mrs. Sadis and her conversion. Look at all those motifs are just exquisite. The houses were big. So that one is done, and I do plan to get that framed. Okay, I did have one new start, which is probably going to be kind of unusual for me. I do tend to start quite a few things, but my start is for the July cross-stitch camp that Sherry at Colorado Cross Stitcher holds over the summer. That's hashtag cross-stitch camp 2022. The July prompt was to stitch a piece that you would do something other than framing. I am making this piece for my daughter. It is Lindy Stitches Quarantine Valentine. And I am using some Silk for You. These were silks that were in sort of a grab bag, so they are not named, but oh, look at them, they're just exquisite. Anyway, I'm making this for my daughter, and I plan to make it into a pillow. She had, her best friend moved away from the Bay Area, and they were very close, and this was really hard for her. She saw this pattern when I was showing her some things that Lindy Stitches has designed, and she said, oh, please, could you make that for me to give to my friend? And so this is what I have done so far. I really just have the this motif here to do on the other side. The words are all in, if you can see that. And this is stitched on, I think I dropped that, hold on. This is stitched on a 36 count Prim by XG Design. And as mentioned, I am using Silks for You, an unnamed silks that I got out of a grab bag with her. Okay, so now the other little sort of dirty secret that I have, I stitch a lot. I mean a lot. I do have I keep a book. It is not necessarily the book of days, but it is decorated with stickers because that's what we do. As you can see, I've kind of chosen birds for July. No real reason, but I write what I've stitched on every day. Sometimes that does repeat, but so some of these floss tubes will almost seem like a whip parade because I stitch on a lot of things and have stitched over a lot of things in the last 2 weeks. So we will get started with those. So first piece, this is very exciting. This is Tga Priscilla Dawes. It was designed by Julie, a Kansas City girl in a Colorado world. She goes under the company Hemlock and Rye Stitchery. She sells her patterns on Gumdrop. I will put that link in the description box below. So this piece, Julie charted in 2 colorways. She charted in what she called the age colorway, which was on the front of the sampler, which tends to be a little more muted. And then she did the brighter colorway using the colors from the back that haven't been exposed to the sun. And I chose the age colorway, but as you can see, it will be still really bright. This is just a delightful. Oh my goodness. Well, look at that. Sarah left a lot of threads hanging. Well, we do that, don't we? But this is, you can just see she just crammed motifs just all through it. I have gone all the way across the top. I am using the call for DMCs. There's quite a few DMCs, around 30, I think. I can show you what those look like on the ring. They are not Nicole combed, but they're just gorgeous, bright colors. So that's the colors for Priscilla Thurza dolls. We have a Zoom usually once a month with Fox and Rabbit, and any of you that are working on that would be more than welcome to join and stitch with us. It's quite fun. If you go to their website, which I will link below, you will see the it's under events when you go to their website, and the tickets are just so they know who's going to be there. There's no charge for the tickets, and they give you the times that in the United States, in Europe, when all this will go down. The next one will be August 12th. So if you're stitching Thurza Priscilla dolls, come and join us, because it's quite fun. And Julie, when she can be there and has been there for all the ones that I've been to, will be there as the designer. She has chosen, she has stitched this twice, and because she wanted to stitch on it again while she was on the Zoom calls with us, she's doing what she calls a more jewel tone goth colorway, and it's exquisite. So that is Thurza Priscilla dolls. My next piece is Birds from Bernard's Books. This is by Modern Folk Embroidery. This was a design by the incomparable Jacob. That is a fundraiser for the Brain Aneurysm Fund. This came out of Caroline from Evertotes. Her husband John is running the New York Marathon in November, and he is raising money for the Brain Aneurysm Foundation as part of his run, his marathon, and Jacob did another beautiful chart. And I will insert a picture here because it's a PDF and I don't have a cover. But this is what I have done so far on this. So I am stitching this on, let's see, I've got it written here, 36 count R&R reproductions of Brenda's Brew. I am using Stitch for You silks in the color PR123. And again, that the information, I will link it below. Caroline has done several mentions of this in her videos, her FlossTube Off the Grid. And so that's that piece. Next is, I think I put up all my cards in that last thing. Okay, because we have to have those. All right. The next piece is the Tga Red Work Sampler by Just Stitching Along. My friend Krista, who I did get to meet in February when we went to a small retreat in Phoenix and went to the attic. Yeah, the attic. Oh my goodness, that was my first time. I think I bounced off walls for hours. Jean and Carolyn and their staff, they're just incredible. You are just bathed in exquisite stitchery. It's like nothing I had ever experienced before. So that's that piece, and I am using a 37 count Legacy in Russian tea cake, which this might be a funny story. It may not be. I kept seeing this Legacy 37 count when I would look up fabric to order. And I thought, how odd. Well, and I made it a mission to find a 36 count Legacy. And I don't think they make that. So so I settled, and we're doing it on a 37 count. And this is what I have stitched on so far. Now this is a long piece, as you could see from the picture. I picked up 2 hanks of soie at the attic. So the top alphabet there that you can see is in 946, and then there will be a darker. Where's my bag? There'll be a darker silk, which I seem to have misplaced. Oh, here it is. Here they are. So this is the 946 right here. And then as you can see, this is the 4636. And there'll be a alphabet in the darker silks. And then there are some called for DMC and GAST threads as well. So that is Tga Red Work Sampler by Just Stitching Along. I do try, I didn't get to both of them this time, but I have sort of done a Thursday Red Work Sampler, because we know you have to be working on a Red Work Sampler. And I usually split the day, and I work on this, and then Mary 395, which is a Bristol sampler. I will be showing that to you, but I did not work on it between videos. So my next piece, again, is from this book, which is A Heart Remembers, and the piece that I'm actually working on is A Heart Remembers. This came out this year. It is, well, it's just exquisite. I actually just bought the threads for all of the pieces in there because I don't think there's anything that I don't want to stitch. I did start with A Heart Remembers. I am stitching this on, I think I put my cards up again. I've got to find a little bit of a better system where I don't tend to get rid of those. Huh? Okay. So A Heart Remembers by Blackbird Designs. I'm stitching this on 36 count doubloon by Picture This Plus using the called for over-dyed floss. And this is my progress so far. And again, left a thread on there. I think that's what happens when you you stitch as much as I do and try to switch around your projects daily. But anyway, are those colors just not yummy? That blue on the house and on the bird. And this is a relatively small piece, and so I see, you know, a finish not too far in my future. Let's try to keep these cards out this time. Okay. So that is A Heart Remembers by Blackbird Designs. The next piece is Modern Folk Embroidery, Ruskin's Penguins. My husband's son loves penguins, and so I'm kind of thinking that I will do that and give this to him. So this is the chart. I purchased this again from Caroline at Evertotes. with the called for Leo and Roxy overdyes, which are chalkboard and weathered white. And I am doing it on a 36 count eucalyptus by Fox and Rabbit. And this is where I am so far. I would have been a little further, but I had to rip out the can't be and do that again because I was a half a thread off. Now, a lot of times I will fudge any way I can, but I couldn't leave it, so I took it out. But you can see those colors are just gorgeous, and that white pops so nicely on this eucalyptus. So that is Ruskin's Penguins by Modern Folk Embroidery. Okay. Excuse me, just one second. Hi. Oh, heck. My system here with these cards, which I thought was brilliant to have everything right there as I needed it, because I can't keep a device open long enough. You just have to keep. Anyway, those are falling every time, or I put them in the bag of the piece that I'm putting up. My next piece is my nod to Christmas in July. I started this, I think, in, let's see if we can find that, in March of this year, and I really wanted to get some work on it in July. So this is from the Punch Needle, Primitive Stitcher and Punch Needle magazine. It's the Dancer by, again, the amazing Barbara Anna. I would have started it much sooner, but I think because this pattern was probably so popular, it was really hard to find the fabric. And I really did want to do it as close to the fabric that she showed that on. So this is my start on that. And I am stitching this on a 32 count Murano in the color Splash Granite. I'm using the called for DMC, and I'm hoping to get close to a finish this month, I hope. So that is Dancer by Barbara Anna. The next piece, there is a little theme going here, and I will put a picture here as I don't have, it's a PDF and I don't have the cover, but it is Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery, designed by the incomparable Jacob. And this is what I have done so far. I chose, this is on a 36 count even weave. I am doing it in 932 and 939. I am just about to finish September, which would be in this corner over here, and then I will have October, November, and December left. My husband chose that center motif with the birds. Jacob graciously gave us several choices for that, and we are kind of lovebirds. So that will be, I usually do work on this at least once a week because I would like to get it finished. And let me see if there's anything else on that. Yeah, it's a 36 count ivory even weave. And again, the DMCs are, the dark is 939 and the light is 932. So that is Fruits of Plenty by Jacob. There is a sale going on, I think, both for this and then with cross stitch, and Still More Fresh Fruit Sal is also out there. I will put all those links below. Okay, my next whip was, everybody talks about dark 13. I can never remember when it's the 13th, and usually it passes and I go, well, I never worked on it. But I actually did work on this on the 13th of the month. And this is a relatively new start for me. Again, it is a Blackbird, Away We Ride. Oh, it's gorgeous. Vicki Clayton has a silk pack on her website, which I purchased, and this is my start on this. And this is stitched on 36 count Endora by Needle and Flax. Beautiful piece of fabric. And I got this at the attic when we were there in February. So Away We Ride by Blackbird Design. I'll show you some of those, the colors of the silks that I've got on Floss Drops so far. But look at those. Oh, they're just gorgeous. And that's not all of them. I just kind of make the floss drops, or I put them on a floss drop as I need them. So very beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so the next is my progress on Move Forward in Pride. I did get some progress since you saw that last. This again is stitched on a 32 count Lakeside linen in cotton candy with the called for DMCs, and I will insert a picture here of what it will look like when it is complete. And I have made a lot more progress on the center medallion and brought the motifs down closer to the midline there. I don't know if any of you saw the finish that Imogen cross stitch, I will link her below, did of this piece. She stitched it on black and the colors just pop off. But the incredible thing is that her border is stitched in a variegated rainbow colors. It is just, it's absolutely beautiful. My hat's off to her. Beautiful job. So that is Move Forward in Pride. That was my retirement stitch start. And then finally, let me get my card so I know what I'm talking about. It is the exciting, I think, FlossTube by storm, Susanna Eccles by MommaLovesYouGB. I will again put a picture here. I have the PDF, and so I don't have the and then I also am doing this on the Vicki Clayton silks. Oh my gosh, they're just yummy. In fact, I was watching MommaLovesYouGB. Her FlossTube is great. If you haven't watched that, I will link it below. And she mentioned that Vicki Clayton had reached out to her and said that she would do a silk pack. And it was one of those things where I sort of immediately just paused and ordered them to do this. And I had sort of already ordered the other colors, but you know, when you get a chance to do it in silks, you do it in silks. And this is my start on that. I will try not to leave so many strings. That's I think something that I haven't been as conscious of, not doing a floss tube, but I am doing this on Winter Wren, a 36 count Winter Wren by Fox and Rabbit. And it's just beautiful. Again, it is a small piece, and I think I could get a finish on that fairly soon as well. So that is my whips, which probably felt like a parade. And I want to check my notes so that I don't forget anything. And I didn't at all last time discuss my plans. As you can tell, I tend to stitch rather randomly, but I enjoy it. And but I do want to go back now and put more time into Elizabeth Isles, which you saw last week, which is getting close to a finish, and certainly more work with, I don't know if any of you saw the head of Mr. Stan Emmons, the composer of my intro song, going by there. Anyway, I am going to work on him to get him to come on at some point and say hello. But anyway, my plans are to continue work on Moonlight Sampler. I want to try to work towards a finish on Dancer, and maybe probably some more starts for Christmas in July. I need to really dig through the Christmas patterns that I have so that I can get going with those. And then I need to pick a new piece for my 2 threads, 25 minutes, however you want to look at that, because the 2020 Pandemic Sampler, which I have finished, was that piece. So I'm going to look at my whips and find one that I can put a couple of threads in every day. And it is truly amazing how close to a finish and how it moves the project along by just giving it a little love every day. So those are my plans. I think that I have mentioned everyone that I wanted to mention. Again, thank you, Brenda and Laura, for your gracious shout out. We have a community here that exceeds all expectations, and I feel so fortunate to be a part of it. If you liked what you saw today, I hope that you will subscribe and like and share and hit the bell, and then you'll know when I'm back. I think making this second video was a little more terrifying than the first. So I'm kind of hoping that we kind of slide into a rhythm for the third one. I loved reading everyone's comments, and I hope you continue to put those comments. My plan right now is to address every comment that I get. And what I have found is that I think this is filling a little gap for me in my retirement, because part of my day, my work day, when I was seeing patients, was I would get in the office very early. I would prep my charts for the day, and then usually would time out and have about 30 to 40 to sometimes an hour to stitch and center myself before I started seeing patients. And I think meeting with you through these comments, reading them and addressing them is filling that little place in my heart right now that I have, because I'm not seeing patients right now. So thank you all for that, and please keep leaving comments, and know that I will answer. I usually try to take time in the morning and time in the afternoon before I start stitching to address those and leave a comment back to you. So I think I've said it all. So until next time, get comfortable in your stitchy spot and stitch what you love. Bye.